I like to turn the camera on when I'm still getting ready, a little bit like getting ready to bless the table with a little bit of Palo Santo, and the camera and me and the cards. You know, I used to do it twice. I'd do it with the camera off, and then I'd do it with the camera on. And I think that the membrane is becoming more permeable. I don't think I need to, I don't know, I can just do it once. And I don't think it's a bad thing to have you guys see, you know, there's something special and yet, you know, completely ordinary about somebody doing that. Do it for us. Talk to us. Tell us what we need to hear, right? So I drew 3 cards before I even started. 7 of Wands, Knight of Swords, and the Death card. You know, somebody's defensive about something somebody has to say. And this guy who's saying it looks like they're getting ready to fight. You know, the sword isn't sheathed. It isn't kind of, it looks like if it were a baseball bat, getting ready to hit the ball. And with that and the visor, I think somebody's expecting a sneak attack or something like that. They're anticipating that. And they think or feel intuitively that this is going to be bad. Somebody's going to deliver up, you know, like a verbal blow is going to say something really hurtful. And I think, in fact, what this person says is transformative. So this guy is like anticipating that whatever this other person has to say is going to sever a tie or, you know, be a sneak attack or... There was something, I was watching a wonderful interview with a woman named Martha Beck. And she was talking a lot about the fight or flight response and the nervous system and how you can redirect your energy, the energy of your brain, because the default energy is to look for you know, the thing that's a threat. That's the primitive brain. It wants to keep us safe. So it really it scans for things that would hurt us. So it brings up fear, which can make us, flight away from the tiger or whatever it is. I think in modern times, that whole system has been wacky. And a lot of people, and Martha Beck was saying this, but boy, don't we know it, people are kind of predisposed to see threat, you know, be triggered. This is like to be triggered by and made defensive by something somebody says. So it's the primitive brain kicking in that says, I have to protect myself. Okay, on Death card, King of Pentacles. This is somebody who's solid and authentic and shows up. You know, they're not a liar, King of Pentacles. They're grounded in what's true. They're going to speak the truth, male or female. This earth energy individual doesn't need to be an earth sign, but doesn't need to be a man. But they're trustworthy. So I don't think that this person needs to be defensive, but they may have had enough in their life that impacted them, in fact had been shamed or something like that. So the fight or flight part of their brain was really activated. And it might be that something that's said by this King of Pentacles, is really transformative, changes up what the Seven of Wands person feels. Scorpio energy of the Death card. Tell us about the King of Coins, King of Pentacles. He's associated, he, she, they, with the transformation. And he's saying something, I think, about a change of heart. Water energy, Scorpio. Change of heart. Six of Swords. Whatever he says reduces the anxiety. The fight or flight response. This person can drop their guard because King of Coins, King of Pentacles, is known for being careful, authentic, somebody who doesn't rush to, would never corner anybody. I think this person had been cornered before, and if you corner a cat, oh yeah, there's reactivity. So before this thing is actually spoken, this person is anticipating it, Wands energy, and bracing against something that they don't want to hear. Whatever King of Pentacles says calms them down because it's coming from a calm place. That was another thing that was the idea that you don't necessarily need to get busy and do something in order to change the energy of a situation and calm it down. Just be authentic, be present. That's how we advance. Okay, that's how we move forward. This is a card of Aquarius. Star card. In sword energy, moving forward. And I think it's out of this reactive place towards something calmer. It involves a neurological shift. Somebody else, and I can't remember who it was, said it's more important. I mean, if you're looking at bringing in the positive, emphasizing the positive, versus shutting out the negative, and which has more impact. Ideally, you do both. But the really impactful stuff is to change the negative talk. From yourself or from other people. That's more impactful than bringing in the positive. So there's some truth that's told about this person's defensiveness. And whatever they say, Knight of Swords, is a game changer. It's life and death somehow. And it causes this healing ability to believe what somebody says. And it's for the collective. It may mark a shift in the how the collective expresses feelings for each other. Love over fear. That's basically it. clarity, clearing the nervous system of this reactivity. I was sick once, and the cure was a training in neuro retraining my brain to stop carving the same path based on fear and reactivity. And it had a lot to do with self-talk, and also with being able to envision something positive versus the thing that was making me scared. To stop the chain reaction, trigger after trigger. Because once you get into the anxious place, it's hard to get out. And the anxiety builds and builds and builds until somehow we can reset our self-talk, or toward healing. Changes our brain, our Aquarian energy. And as we change individually, it changes the collective. It changes the collective. Death card is a card of change and transformation. The end of something and the beginning of something else. The end of something. The beginning of something else. And this energy evolved to keep us safe. So while we may want to quiet it down, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is a part of our brain that evolved to distinguish or to recognize potential threat. That's important. But we live in a culture where that kind of fear has become kind of the default mechanism. I mean, there are a lot of people who just live in, myself included, depending on my circumstance, such a state of high anxiety. It's something, we're hearing impelled, like we need to transform this energy, and we know it, Aquarian clarity, we know it. We can see it. It's not like, you have to do this transformation. It involves being drawn toward peace. Drawn toward peace. King of Coins. King of Coins, very peaceful cat. King of Swords, and in the now. There's something about the samurai, because they have the honor pledge, You can't lose honor. You'd rather your insides than lose your honor. That strikes me as a little wacky, that image of the seppuku that, almost like I'd rather have death than no honor. And I often talk about this guy as being full of integrity. They operate out of their own truth, and their truth is not the crazy place. It comes calm. Six of Swords, King of Coins. And it puts this person in a really elevated, transformative state of mind. This person may be starting a meditative practice or something like that focuses on the breath. Just breathe in, breathe out, and be there with whatever comes up in the most compassionate way, for yourself, or for what comes up that makes you feel like this about somebody or something. Try to shift it, to get clarity on it. These two, if they're two people, somebody's dropping their guard. And the integrity thing I was trying to remember is, you know, in its simplest definition, integrity is just the pieces fitting. You know, it's wholeness. It doesn't have to do with like, I have personal integrity, like a moral thing. It's to do with wholeness. What does that mean on Star card? Ace of Cups. It has to do with wholeness. How do we get whole? We connect with other people and with ourselves in that compassionate manner I was talking about. You know, that's the transformation. Ace of Cups, Death card, Scorpio, Cups energy, emotional transformation from this triggered place to this. And maybe as a result of, or not as a result, but somebody says something that somebody thinks, sword energy, that they're going to receive some kind of unpleasant truth. So they're braced against it, Seven of Wands. And that's not what it is. I mean, it may have been in the past a situation where somebody really had to protect themselves. But that situation is transformed. On the transformation, please. Five of Pentacles. That's a card of being left out in the cold. You know, and it's mother and child left out in the cold. It's hard to nurture from this place of lack. And it's almost like it's a child with a child on their back. It has something to do with abandonment issues. Maybe from childhood. Maybe something that resurfaced, you know, years ago. But there's this transformative energy. It's like, if we're defensive, part of what this person is defensive against is the fact that they felt left alone, probably when they were very young. So that, you know, it's almost like their child had to nurture their inner child. As a child, they had to nurture their inner child because they didn't receive nurturing from the environment, Pentacles energy. And somehow, really, it's like, it's sort of miraculous. Somehow this person was able to accomplish the transformation and come into this place of like being secure in themselves and authentic. They nurtured their inner child through some kind of really challenging phase in their life. And I think it started out when they were a child. They were in this Five of Pentacles place, and now they're King of Pentacles. They took care of themselves. Masculine or feminine. Okay, on Seven of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, that's the new beginning. You know, a reset, a takeaway. You know, I have the first building block, or I have seed energy to do this. This can grow. King of Pentacles is all about growth. So when this guard is dropped and replaced by some kind of transformative truth, there's a reset. And it may be, you know, in terms of a feeling of security, like this is a response to insecurity. Everything's coming at me. I'm being pushed out of the family or the relationship or the job or the something that, you know, leaves me feeling in serious lack, and it somehow echoes a childhood situation. There's a new opportunity. I mean, there's a brain reset here. Somebody may have been afraid of communicating, saying something out loud. They may have anticipated or may have known that this person was going to have a defensive reaction. Not sure. Oh yeah, defensive reaction. 5 of Wands. This is a fight. You know, people wanting different things. It can be a card of a group that can't figure out how to work together. Each of them have the same aim. But I think here there's really an emphasis on the 2. This person who's going to say something, I think, knows that this could trigger a fight. That this Wands person, you know, this one who's scared, let's say, and reactive, is going to react based on not so much the present, you know, it's some conversation that brings up this abandonment issue. Justice, sword energy. But the 2 major arcana cards that have to do with sword energy, Libra, Aquarius. This is a card of balance. Of a balanced relationship between 2 things. That, you know, okay, the 2 sides of the scale. Something that's equal and fair. And I think is true for both people, not a half-truth. Both people have to speak their truth. And it looks like on the level of, you know, sword energy, communication, clarity, saying what you mean, being able to hear what actually is being said. Because this is a situation where not being heard. Maybe neither side feels heard or didn't in the past, and that's what's transformed. I'd just like to know about this 5 of Pentacles, childhood trauma or feeling of unworthiness. Well, that's not true. That's a lie. That's a lie somebody may have told themselves of necessity in the past just to survive. You know, kind of duck and cover. I'm not going to look into my childhood issues. I can't. It's too overwhelming. I'm going to fight that off. And if somebody says something that, you know, trying to get something out of me, I'll fight it off. And I'm too triggered. And then there's this peaceful, transformative energy that comes in, that calms this person down and allows them to feel what's really there. And what's really there is love. It's all around. It's inside. It's inside. You know, not outside. Some self-love comes in to heal the childhood feelings that kind of shut down a sense of trust. 7 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles. But there's an opportunity for reset. And tell me more about the lie. 2 of Pentacles. Wow. Tower. And I did see the card underneath Tower, so I think I have to take it. I think somebody is able to distinguish truth from lie. They weigh things up, and somehow there's an emotional epiphany about it. I know what I feel, and I can distinguish, if somebody's telling me the truth about what they feel or is still trying to be dodgy. Because this is pretty dodgy. And so is Seven of Wands, this kind of defensiveness. But I do think there's been a transformation, and somebody has gotten clarity. And they're not defensive, but they are, you can't really get past a samurai. They're carrying a sword. It can be words that are weaponized, like there's this big argument. Talons out, but there's big change. Big change. Scorpio energy of the Death card, Scorpio energy of the Tower. Something happens that really tips the scales in favor of truth, in favor of balance, in favor of moving forward to a calmer place. There's like the universe somehow tips the scales in favor of epiphany, a revelation and peace. Boy, this is a saga, okay? Moving forward in love, with a kind heart, with an open heart. This is Virgo energy. Somebody who's grounded in their own life. I think somebody's going to make an offer, perhaps to a Virgo, the signs aren't so important, but to somebody who's good on their own. They may be single. They're not needy. That's what this person, I suspect, is this person. Male or female. I think perhaps the single female has grown into somebody who can take care of themselves and other people. We got a low battery. One more card. Whoops. This is the King of Wands. That's the guy who's going to do it. In fire energy. The one who was defensive. The one who was triggered. The one who was reactionary. Perhaps the one who thought they had to fight off something. Triggered by, I don't know what caused the transformation. I think it had something to do with clear communication and a real deep understanding of the situation. What had to go? It's like shedding the skin of the old, shedding the skin to free up feelings and to bring the mind into accord with the heart. There's a real gentling down here, calming down, back into equilibrium. Ace of Cups. On the level of feelings. Tower, Death card. Shedding the skin. Okay, I don't have an easy wrap up for this, but I think it's, fives are cards of change. This is the Five of Pentacles, that abandonment thing. And this is the Five of Wands, the struggle. And this can be an internal struggle. I said it can be a bunch of people, or it can be these two people fighting it out. It can also just be the internal struggle, trying to work something out, What next? How do we, these two apparent contradictory things. It takes time, 5 years. I mean, Pentacles speak to years, to regain this equilibrium. Rome wasn't built in a day, that kind of thing. And it wasn't taken down. Well, it was taken down in a day. When Nero went nuts and set the place on fire. But weirdly, this time of upheaval, allows for this change. It eases the change. It gentles the change. I mean, not that change is always feels like this, but it sometimes feels like this. It does. Fives indicate a need for change. This was an important thing to work out. And it might be just the struggle in the self to feel whole and safe. I mean, there's nothing in this reading that says that everything in this reading suggests that struggle will, bear fruit. It'll liberate feelings, and it may have something to do with a meditation that involves accepting the feelings as they come up, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You let them come up, and then you let them pass. Death card, let them pass. Your past feelings of abandonment. Allow that to be renewed. And it changes not only your situation, this 5 cards, your immediate, a 3D situation. As we all work through it, it changes the collective. It opens the door to new love, Ace of Cups. That's the emotional transformation. And it may be, in terms of the big collective energies, quite rough for a while. There's this element of unsettling. But somebody stays stable. And I think it's both parties. 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, that secure individual, I think, is both parties. And it's not necessarily you and a lover. A lot of tarot readings focus on that. I think it's on any important relationship that in order to work in 3D really needs this kind of balance. But it's often achieved through this kind of, change doesn't come easily. 5 of Wands, Death card. But it liberates. Okay, we have Scorpio in the Death card, Libra in Justice, Aquarius in the Star, Scorpio again in Tower. And a lot about calming down that fight or flight thing so that we can come together.